Summer stream our memory of Mrs. Edith Nussbaum, and this will be our last morning shir until Bias Goa Mashiach, or until I guess it's the end of the summer or the beginning of the fall, I should say. Okay, what I want to do today is focus on a couple of different topics. One is Hidnahagut Ha'oleh Torah. What is one's behavior when one goes to Torah? I'm not referring to necessarily, all types of behavior, but definitely focusing on a few halachic situations, which I think not everybody is familiar with. So the first one is as follows. Take a look at the Gemara, which is the Gemara Brachos. Amar Rav Yehuda, Shloshet Dvarim Miktarim Yamav Ushnotav Shel Adam. There are three things that specifically cut off a person's life. Mi Shenotim Lo Sefer Torah Likra V'No Kara. They give the person an opportunity to read the Torah and they do not read from it. So again, what exactly this means, we're going to discuss a couple of them, but not all of them. So the last two do not pertain to our topics, so we're not even going to deal with them. So what does this mean? Number 19 says Mishabura. Let's say they called you an aliyah. And what does the person do? Chachamim said, so what happened? What is this referring to? Says the Mefarshim, that a person is called to the Torah, Yamod Ploni Ben Ploni, he doesn't go. He's like, I'm not in my mood today. You have to realize, what do you mean? You have to organize yourself appropriately. Then when you get called, you got to go. And according to the pasuk that as Rav is meaning that you need to be able to prepare yourself to get called to Torah. If you're called, you got to go.
Is this contingent on you being called up by the Gabbai?
Yes, called up by the Gabbai. That's the rule.
If you're refusing while somebody
that's not the
giving
same.
An aliyah, just giving you an aliyah, it's not the same at all.
Not the same at all. Yeah, although people say they ask 3 times. The truth is, it's not true. If the Gabbai asks you to get an aliyah, you should really say yes. That's the okay. Now so what do you have to do? We have a minhag to make a bracha before and after we receive an aliyah to the Torah. That's what we do today. It used to be only the first guy said the first bracha, the last guy said the last bracha, and that was it. We know that's not our minhag, and already that changed in times of Chazal. So, source 20 says the Gemara, Tana, Hapotech mevarech lefaneh, v'chotem mevarech lachareha. The guy who opens starts off. The guy who finishes off, the guy who finishes the laning for that day, he makes the last bracha. However, no, but that's not what we do. We do today, everyone makes a bracha before and after. What's the rationale? What does it mean? Why is it Chacham made a takana that you need to make a bracha everyone on their own like we do today? The Gzera av nichnasim v'yotzim. What is this? Explains Rashi. Shim yikanes adam b'tekneset achar sheberach rishon. If you know yishma achar mevarech yomar ein beracha b'tofeneha. What happens? The guy walks in shlishi. There's no bracha. So, oh my goodness, we don't make a bracha. We don't make a bracha l'faneh. Now he'll hear achareha. Why? Because presumably he'll stick around to the end. He's not going to leave again. That guy walks in late, or guy misses, or whatever the case may be, he's going to miss the opening bracha, and therefore we made a bracha, we made a takana before and after. If a guy walks out in the middle after Rishon, he misses the last bracha. Okay, this way that was instituted. Now that's the modern day minhag. Is that every day? Modern day. It's already 2,000 years old. Where everyone makes a bracha both before and after. Okay, next, yeah.
Is that when Hillel talks about those reasons?
This is the end, by the way, right? This remembers the end of the Gemara.
Mm-hmm. So it talks about these.
Yeah.
The topic of what.
Oh no, that's not the end. The next one, Gemara is the end. Sorry, what? Yeah.
But it's crazy when you think about it. Like you ever walk into davening and they're up to Asher and you're like, oh, there's not on brachos today.
Yeah, that's a very good question. Why specifically by Kriya? So I think part of it also is that Kriya Torah was not done every day, and Kriya Torah, especially for the villagers, maybe they didn't even. Who knows? How often they heard it, and they went to the city, right, to hear Kriya Torah.
Monday and Thursday.
Perhaps they didn't hear it. They didn't know. Maybe it wasn't as common. But it's a good question. You never see that. No one asked that question by. I'll tell you the difference between Pesach and Zimra is that everybody, doesn't matter if it's in your house, your home, or in shul. I mean, everyone says they're on your own. Since everyone says they're on their own, I'm familiar with Pesukah Zimra. Whereas here, if there's no minyan, you don't lane.
So fine, so you can carry it to like the laning itself. If someone walks in late, maybe they didn't do the first aliyah. Maybe you start the parsha in the middle. Like, no, obviously you came in late. There's some stuff happened before you came.
Right. Yeah, interesting. I don't know. It's a good question, but we don't see such a hafmina. All right, 21. Taraban. Okay, this is going to be fascinating. I'll tell you why. This is going to be, well, let me read first, then I'll explain after. Tarabanan. Poteach v'roa golol mevarech. So let's understand these words literally for a minute. Open, see, rule, bless. Right? Choser, poteach, v'koreh. So choser is to return. Okay, return. What exactly is that referring to? Open, read. Rabbi Meir. Who says no? Open, see, bless, read. My time is Rabbi Meir. Here we go. From what's the rationale behind that you should not? A guy who reads from the Torah should not assist the translator. Remember the times of Chazal; they would translate every single pasuk into Aramaic. You thought laning took a long time. Now imagine if every pasuk was translated aloud, right, in Aramaic. That took a long time too.
And then there's some that you don't translate.
Right, very few, right? So, what exactly is this referring to? The following. So, we are very worried that people would think that the Aramaic is written in the Torah. And so, the person, so two things I should tell. One is that in the olden days, you'd be called to get an aliyah. It didn't just mean to get an aliyah, it also meant you had to lane. So when you had shlishi, you need to know the laning for shlishi. So make sure you prepare. Make sure you know shlishi. I guess, right? Now, since not everyone prepared and knows it, we have an appointed Baal Koreb. That wasn't the way it used to be. So then the question was, well, wait a second. If I'm reading from the Torah, and I'm also, by the way, not only did you need to know the laning, you perhaps also need to know the Turgum as well. But we're worried. So if there was a Turgaman, if there was a person who was also translating on the side, what are we worried about? We don't want it to appear as if the Aramaic might be understood by a listener as written in the text of the Torah. And therefore, it was very important that the person who was reading the Aramaic was not looking in the Torah at the time that they were translating the Aramaic. Because the people might think, oh, you're reading, Zurich Ugasa Torah, you're also reading that. So they didn't want people to get confused that the Aramaic is in the Torah as well. So, with that information, Rashi says, Ika limite. What does Ika limite mean? Omer Tergum Katuv B'Torah. Va'atu lemichtav Tergum B'Torah. So therefore, Ika limite, what would you do? You'd mate yourself. You'd turn your head aside. This way you'd look, instead of looking at the Torah like this, you turn it aside when the Aramaic was being said. So that's what he's saying here. Rabbi Yehuda, Tergum Ika limite, Bracha Leika limite. According to Rabbi Yehuda, what do we? He says no. That only this. Okay. So where do we turn aside? According to Rabbi Yehuda, we have to turn aside for the Aramaic part because people might say it's from the Torah. But for the brachos, I don't need to turn to the side. Why? No one's going to think that the brachos are written in the Torah. Come on, that's preposterous. Aramaic maybe, but not the brachos themselves. That's the opinion of Rabbi Yehuda. Amar Rav Zera, Amar Rav Matan, halacha. Here, what's halacha? Poteach ve'roa mevarach ve'kora ve'lema halacha k'Rabbi Yehuda mishun da'apche lehu. So maybe you want to say the halacha of Rabbi Yehuda mishun da'apche lehu, that we flipped around. Who says what? Meaning, what exactly is the minhag? Do we look? Do we not look? Do we turn? Do we roll? What do we do? Because again, remember this topic is hagu. What is the behavior that a person needs to do? Right? So I'm going to explain to you. We're going to bring a couple of the Rishonim. I'm going to show you what the Shulchan Aruch, and we're going to read together the Mishnah Berurah Sufgi on this. Then I'm going to tell you a very known Hakpada of Rav Soloveitchik. Okay? So let's take a look. Beis Yosef, that's not written here. Beis Yosef says the following. So what do we do? So after you read your golel, so what do? After you read, you have a rule. Meaning, when you make the bracha, the Torah needs to be closed. V'kmo shekatav Rabbeinu. V'tama Haran, the Ran says, Alav, the time I'm issuing the Svirle, the Ad Kan lo pligi Rabbi Yehuda v'Alav b'tchila. No. The machloket is only between Rabbi Yehuda and Rabbi Meir in the beginning. Rabbi Meir tzarich liglov levarech, v'achar kach potech v'likrod, v'tircha milta, hilgach lo tzarich l'Rabbi Yehuda, v'basaf in torach yoter golov v'achar kach mevarech. So I will explain. The whole machloket between Rabbi Meir and Rabbi Yehuda is only on that first bracha. Everyone agrees for the second bracha, you need to close the Torah when you make the bracha. What is this referring to? This is a tircha. What's a tircha? I will explain. If you get an aliyah and you do the following, the guy shows me where we see here, by the way, in Pornalachi, I know where you're laning from. So the guy says, oh, we're laning, there we go. V'zos hugas Torah. Right? Zos hugas, he points to the spot. Now, if you close it and make your bracha, says the Gemara, that's a tircha. Why? Because what's going to have to happen? Then what are you going to have to do when you're done the bracha? You've got to open it again. We know what happens. Okay, so that's a bad example. Maybe it was Kohen. Because Kohen usually is easy to find. But Ravi, here, right? There's like delay again, right? So if it's again a Parsha Pasucha or a Parsha Stuma, it's usually easier to find. Although, up there, oh no, it's down here. Meaning if there's a space and you're landing from the space, usually that's easier. But we know many cases where there's not a space or there's 5 spaces, there's like Kitetse, for example. It's like a rattle-off mitzvah every single, right? So like, which one is it? So there's delay. That's the tircha. So is the tircha on the Rabbi and the tzibur? It's not fair tircha the tzibura. You're waiting, or is the tircha on the Baal Koreh? Where's the spot? So tircha on everybody. Where are we? Where are we doing?
What about a partial close?
What?
What about a partial close?
Again, since there's a chance of being a tircha, you shouldn't do it. That is, and we see, but everyone agrees that at the end, what's the problem? Because since you're going to close it, why? Of course, because you got to call somebody out, we have to come up anyways in front of the spot all over again. That's going to happen no matter what. That's not avoidable. So that is why the Ran is explaining that the tircha is all the machlokas is only in the beginning. Okay, that's what he's saying. Now, this is important because look at the Shulchan Aruch 23. Kol hakorim mevarchim lefanav v'achareha. As we said, everyone gets an aliyah. That's the minhag. Upoteach asever kodem sheyivarech v'yeroeh hapasuk. So the Shulchan Aruch here is already the Rishonim and Achronim explain the Gemara, which is extremely terse. Right, use one word, and this is what it's right. So here we go. So you open the Torah before you make the bracha. Roeh hapasuk shachlet chilbo. Then you make the bracha. V'leachar shekara, and only after Kriyas Torah, you're golel and you're mevarech. That is the shita of the Shulchan Aruch. Says the Rama, u'b'shash mevarech bracha rishona yahafoch panav el hatzad. Now, remember what we saw? Are we worried? Is there a chashash that people are going to think that the bracha is in the Torah or not?
No.
It appears that for Shulchan Aruch we're not choshesh. For the Rama, we're choshesh. And what should you make the? So again, people are not familiar with this. You got to take the Torah, open, turn your head to the side.
Really?
People don't do that. Most people, what do? They close them at the bracha.
Yeah.
So you got to go to the side.
Rav Soloveitchik was very makbid on this. He felt you got to leave the Torah open. It's a mefurash, a Gemara, it's a tircha.
So you leave the Gemara open, go to the side.
Not Gemara? Did I say Gemara?
I say Gemara.
You say Gemara. You leave the Torah open?
Leave the Torah
You put your head to the side. Why? Because people might say the bracha is written by Torah.
Nowadays, though.
But if you turn your head to the side, they won't.
What about nowadays where the brachas are right next to the Torah? So
I always said the bracha is on the wrong side. Usually the bracha. Okay, the question is which side you turn. Okay, so we have the general minhag, which makes sense, is that the bracha is on the right side. Why? Because the guy says Leah is on the right side, right? Okay, hold on. So again, it appears now. Here we go. This is going to be even more complicated. You'll see why. Shelo yanira kimavarach min Torah. He quotes the Kolbo, right? So again, what's the rationale behind the fact that you turn your head from the Torah? So people don't think that the bracha is written inside. We saw that, all right? That's the opinion of Rav Meir, right? V'nirali, he says, which side do you turn? Shehavach pana letzad smo, turn to the left, which is not the side that the brachas are printed. Okay. Says Mr. Barat, yeah.
How do you think that the brachas are the Torah? If you have a Baal Koreh and the guy making the bracha. Like,
The
people
tzibur-
usually know the Baal Koreh is reading Torah.
We see,
Yeah,
they don't really
yeah,
think
yeah.
highly of people. That you're gonna, they're gonna think that there's no bracha lefaneha, no bracha achareha. They're gonna walk in late and leaving early. We seem very ignorant, right? We're very worried. Yeah.
they're also like at the time where the Shulchan Aruch was writing, it was a lot harder for people.
For people not educated, people didn't have the same knowledge. The books were a lot more complicated to get a hold of. People think, oh, they were so educated. Every guy there knew Shas, Baal Peh. What are you talking about?
It was just the people. It was just like the ones.
The people who knew a tremendous amount, and the average person really didn't know them. And not that it's kind of similar today too. Right? They're very right. Exactly. There are people that right. There's a huge people
Like
who
the fetal, like the
almost the fetal system.
Yeah.
Right. But the average Jew was probably literate. We know literacy rates among Jews were quite high, way higher than the statistical average of the average Joe Schmo. But nonetheless, okay. So let's read the Mishnah Berurah. Yafach Panav Svira leite kevon de bezel leika tircha de tzibura. Why should you turn your head? Tov lochush gam bebracha rishon el chashash shelo yomru bracha keduvat b'Torah. She says, so it's not a tircha, if you just put your head like this, Baruch Hashem, and you go back. That's not a tircha. Tircha might be your clothes. That's not a tircha. Leave it open. Small. So again, the Ramah says, turn your head to the left. What does the Mishnah Berurah say on that? Because the rationale is, God is mimino eish das lamo. God is in front of you. So you got to, shall we say, turn your head from the Shekhinah. As I'm looking Simon Kuv Kav Gimel. Mihu yesh achronim shekatvu tafach panav eino nachon. No, the Achronim say don't turn your head. Demira atzma kilu no mevarach ama shikra rak midei achrina dehu misal panav mimino. He says looks like chutzpah. I'm not interested in the Torah. Baruch Hashem. I'm not interested. I'm looking as if I'm making a bracha on something else, on an apple. I don't know exactly what he's referring to here. V'yoter tov lahatzim einav. No, he says don't turn your head. You know what you should do? Close your eyes. Close your eyes instead. Now,
but not everyone will be able to see you closing your eyes. If you're going like this, from the back it looks like you're looking into the Torah. So what does this do?
Close your eyes and look up.
Very good. Okay, very good question. Good question.
You're looking down and your eyes open.
You're saying look up with your eyes closed.
But then looking up wouldn't need to close your eyes.
No, but you don't.
Because if you're looking,
no, because the Shekhinah. Don't look at the Shekhinah, so close your eyes. It's like Berkas Kohanim. Close your eyes.
Oh, man.
And this way, it doesn't like you're rejecting God. Turn your head.
Yeah. Shekhinah's everywhere.
The Shekhinah is everywhere. That's what Uncle Moshe says, no? But we see, it's interesting. Despite the fact that's Uncle Moshe's line, what do we see from here? Is that true?
What?
Meaning, we see there are different places the Shekhinah manifests itself. We see that, right? I mean, we see it by Berkas Kohanim, we see it by... Berkas Kohanim could be something else, by the way, why you don't look. That's a question for another time. But we see that, right? Yeah, we see that by... what's it called? By... why? Right, by Tachanun. Right, exactly. Why we go this way. Okay. There are those, what do? We bow. By the bracha because of Torah. Rabbi bracha. Oh, yishche means to talk. Does near kilu masif I guess there are people who add things to say, and that's what you refer to. People add additional. What do people say? What does Sfardim say? Yivrach Hashem. What do people say? I don't know. What is Sfardim saying earlier? He's Sfardim. I don't remember. This guy. He's Sfardim. He's Sfardim. What do they say? Yivrach Hashem. I don't remember. But anyways, that's what he's trying to say here. How much you mumble beforehand. So maybe that could be the reason why we don't do it before. Okay, quickly. Shulchan Aruch says, Omer Baruchu v'bracha b'kol. This is very important. This is a very important hakpah that people do not do. You must say Baruch and the bracha out loud.
Where are we?
The people top of 298. Some people whisper the bracha. Why? I know it's not good. Those people that whisper, they err in their ways. And not, this is an unbelievable line. Those that whisper maybe should repeat it and say it out loud. Woo! That's Shem Hashem. That's a big deal. Says the Ramah, why? You have to answer. Let's say they didn't hear it. They whispers. You hear that a lot, but many people whisper when they get their aliyah. Okay, this is important. Let's say if you walk into shul and you don't hear the baruch, you can't say, but you should say amen. If you don't hear the baruch, you could say amen. You know it was said. If you hear other people, that's okay. But if you kind of think there was like a baruch by the Baal Korah, but you didn't kind of hear it, maybe you should just say amen instead. All right, this topic actually is a little more complicated than that. It could be that if you kind of figured out there was a baruch and you heard other people saying, you could join them. But I don't want to get to that right now. 26, 27. Here we go. When you got to hold the Sefer Torah. Beautiful. Right? And this is also the reason why, because specifically by Yeshua, what do we say? Hold on to the Torah, and specifically by Yeshua, Yeshua was told by God, Chazak, many, many times, but 20 times Hashem says to Yeshua, Chazak v'yamatz, right? So, never specifically, the person who finishes the Torah, Chazak, and now what exactly the third word is? Chazak ve. Right, probably the word is Chazak v'nit Chazak, but that's for another time. 27, hold on to the Sefer Torah. Hold on to the Amudim, hold on to the Amudim, the poles, pillars, poles, right? The handles. Not only during the brachos, but even during laning, you hold on to the Sefer Torah. Those who hold the poles actually with a mappa, they don't actually hold the poles directly, they actually hold a cloth there and hold it. They're the Magin Avraham. That's not our minhag. Our minhag is that we can hold the poles directly. Our minhag is that after laning, we kiss the Sefer Torah. There's also, by the way, something which is very important. Shenizdamin lo rok yarok.
When it's like gross spit.
And if a guy has some saliva of some sort, so get rid of it. Oh my goodness, I never saw this before. Ach min atzad. But if you're going to have to spit to clear your saliva, don't do it by the Torah, do it on the side. I don't know if that's appropriate today. Wow, and then kiss it. Don't kiss and then spit.
Just like hit the gaba.
I think spitting in those days was... Yeah, spitting was very common in those days. You just walk around with spitting things. You know?
Nowadays you'll just hit
Well,
the
you ever seen
gaba
those?
face.
Right. They used to walk around with these spitting bowls in the olden days. Yeah, if you were spitting all the time. Right, spit behind you, right, exactly.
So the idea
Never heard about
of
this.
taking your talus and kissing the open Torah, that's what this...
At the end, right, when you're finished getting your liyah, you kiss.
But what it means kiss, but I mean, my tradition is you kiss your tzitzis and touch the words.
Right.
So is that the same thing? Or is
I
this,
don't know. All it says here is...
or is it closed? Is the Torah...
Achar min nashek. Now, by the way, this is interesting. This is the mistake that people make. Some people feel they have to kiss the word. That's wrong. Do not kiss the word, because what do? You actually ruin your Torah. You can scratch your letters. I remember, I'll never forget this.
Yeah.
I'm standing right here. This was a long time ago. Right, Tal was standing right over there. A guy took it to his and he kissed it really hard. He pressed down hard, and he removed the whole letter.
Oh my goodness.
Right? Because sometimes you're not, and it was a big scene, right? So really do not touch the letters, because you should kiss the side or the bottom. Because why? You're L'nashek Sefer Torah, it says. Kiss the Torah. Doesn't mean the letters. The letters is destructive. You're going to ruin the Torah.
kiss the blank space.
Kiss the blank space.
It's like the bar mitzvah kid who thinks he's supposed to like drag his...
Right. They drag, right? You ever see those people that take their tits and they drag the whole laning? It's wrong. It's absolutely incorrect. Now, you want to see what you're laning, there's in it, so you just look at it. And by the way, interesting, the whole minhag, the kiss, is only at the end of the aliyah. Right. Some people do in the beginning. Some people kiss in the beginning, kiss in the end. They're like kissing. Maybe they're kissing. I don't know. I'm not so sure. Right? They kiss their tits. And by the way, all these things are tircha. It's more time. Right? People are rushing, especially in the weekday.
So it's after the second bracha.
After the second bracha, right? That's the person minhag.
So what we should be doing for the first bracha is just seeing where we're davening.
Seeing this bracha. You got to see. It's a shut. That's what it's roa. And by the way, kissing is much later. We don't see that in the Gemara. Later on, okay, I'm not saying you shouldn't do it. The Ramah mentions the kissing thing. The kissing is only at the end.
Doesn't mean like the lift.
Yes, when you say the word Torah, he doesn't mention it here.
What about?
But yes.
When you say the bracha, the Torah open or the Torah closed?
All right, so we see the bracha, Torah open. That's the
Not the last ones.
Right, not the last ones. Right.
The last ones you can close.
The last ones you can close. Right. If I'm not mistaken, I haven't checked in a while. I'm almost positive that Rav Soloveitchik would both turn his head and close his eyes when he said the opening bracha. I'm like fairly certain about that. I can take a look later. Okay.